That way, okay, that's better. Not sure how this sounds, to be honest, and I probably won't find out until later anyway, so no biggie. Anyway, let's have a look, shall we? So I've got my some requirements for an order management system, which is what I'm looking at building. Order manage. Right, so that's what I'm looking at building, an order management system. I've borrowed some of the requirements for this from Amazon. So go to Amazon. I went to Amazon. I had a look at the shape of an order within Amazon, because Amazon is one of the top places for purchasing items, and I'm going to try it and see what the hype is about. Oh, this is about Cyberpunk. I'm not sure if I like Cyberpunk. This is my son. He's got himself Cyberpunk and he wants to see what the hype is all about. I'm not sold. Alright, so I decided I was going to develop an order management system from scratch. I've not done this in years, so it'll be a fun learning experience for myself to start again from scratch, and build something from the ground up, gathering requirements, modeling the system. Once it's modeled, then start writing the code, designing a UI if required, just to see where it takes me. It's not going to be used on anything. It's just a new learning experience. So to start with, I went over to Amazon. I had a look, like I say, I had a look at Amazon. I had a look at the shape of an order on Amazon. I noticed that orders on Amazon contain products. They have a total. That's why I've written them down. We've got a total value, a subtotal. They show the VAT. If you look inside your order by clicking on the order just below the order ID, it'll open it up and you'll get a date that the order was placed, the order number, a link to the invoice, the recipient, and any payment details. So on the face of it, these are what an order consists of. However, obviously there's more details. So then I started looking at what can I do within Amazon personally. Well, there isn't much I can do with regards to an order. I can cancel an order and I can place an order. However, placing an order is done within the web portal or Amazon itself. It's not done within the management section. So that made me start thinking, okay, so that is not a user requirement, that's more of a system requirement. So I started looking at it from a system level. So what can the system do? So the system itself, the order management system, should be able to add items to an order. The system should be able to remove items from an order. The system should be able to add an order and remove an order. And the system should also be able to display an invoice for an order. There are others as well. So like the system should be able to display payment details on an order. What else is there? I'll be honest, I don't know. Maybe we should go and have another look at Amazon. So I'm going to do this one on my other screen because it's my personal account and I don't want those details strewn across the internet. So looking at Amazon, I can see we've got an order summary. which is the order ID. I can see that there's an order total, there's an invoice. So the system should be able to display an invoice. The system should also be able to store an invoice. No. Add an invoice to an order. Obviously. You shouldn't be able to remove an invoice from an order though. Because, well, why would you? Let's have a look. What else should the system allow you to do? So within order management, and we're just talking the order management, the system should be allowed to. Now, no, they shouldn't be allowed to change the payment details. The system should be allowed to add payment details to the order, but shouldn't remove them. So should be able to add payment details to an order. That's what I think anyway. As we progress building this and modeling it out, we might find that actually these are probably wrong. And then at that point, the system will start to evolve naturally in the right direction. The system should be able to display. Should be able to display the total value of an order. The system should be able to display the VAT of an order. So anybody that's tuning in and watching, you might actually look at this and think, wow, software development is really boring because it's just lots and lots of writing. It isn't. When you get into industry, there's different roles that are assumed. If you were doing this on your own and you were working in a consultancy, then the likelihood is that you would be doing all the requirements gathering yourself and the modeling yourself, possibly even doing the UI design yourself and writing the code. So you'll be putting all the hats on. Some of the companies that I've worked for in the past, we've had different roles that take on those responsibilities. So requirements gathering is done by a business analyst. Depending on what company you work for and how your team's structured, you might have a PO, a product owner. We also have UXers that design the UIs and the user interfaces based on those requirements. You'll get the team of developers that write the code. There's also project managers and other roles within companies. I myself am a software engineer. I write code for a living, but I have on occasion done requirements gathering and modeling of systems. When I went to university, that's how we were taught from the ground up, which is why I want to get back into it again. Maybe at some point I'll start doing consultancy, and if I do consultancy, then I have to be brushed up on these skills. So doing this is helping me, also helping you guys. Now, the system should be able to display VAT any order. The system should be able to display. So these are functional and non-functional requirements that I'm writing right now, that dictate what the system should and shouldn't do. It gives it the bounds of the system. So we should be able to display the subtotal of an order. Oh, I want that to be one word. Lovely. So then once we've got the bounds of what the system should be able to do, then we can think, right, let's model it and start designing the way the system should work on a lower level. This is very high level right now. So the system should be able to display subtotal, total. The system should be able to display all items on an order. Now, items will be products, but they could also be, or they could be called products or order line items or order items. Again, it's semantics at that point. For this simple thing, I think we'll think of as products for now. Products will also need modeling. We'll move on to those as we go down. I'm starting at the highest level I can think of for the order management system, and I'll work my way down. So the system should be able to add items to an order, remove items from an order, add an order, remove an order, display an invoice, display payment details, add an invoice, add payment details to an order, display the total value, the VAT, the subtotal, all items. The system should be able to display the recipient details. Spell recipient wrong. The system should be able to display the order ID, order number. Right. So these things it should for the list of things that we believe an order consists of, the system should be able to do something with those things. Okay. So this is on a UI level, what the system should be able to do. Now I'm saying system. The UI, in fact, I'll move on to the next section so I can explain this better. Once we've got these requirements and we've set out the bounds, then we can start looking at the model. So we'll start with the highest level model, which is interaction. So actors are anything that interacts with something else. An actor could be a customer, or it could be a different system. So let's think, for instance, an email. You want to send an email. The actors within sending an email would be the user themselves writing the email. On the click of the send button, that gets an email forwarded to an exchange server, which again is an actor, because that exchange server will then also have to perform interactions with another system, and so on and so forth. So any external entity that performs an action on another system is an actor on that system. So in this context, because we're not looking at it from a UI perspective, we're looking at it as on a little bit lower level. We're looking at it from the system's perspective. In this case, the actor is the system. Whoops. And these will be the things that an actor can do or perform. So with this one, it would be add item to order, remove item from order. So this is just this is now modeling the system, so we can start breaking it down into smaller components. So all I'm caring about with this slice of the model is what the actor can do with regards to items on an order. So it can add an item to an order and it can remove an item for an order, and it can display items in an order. Okay, so they're the three actions that it can perform. Now we can box these up here if we want. Ideally, they don't need to be so big. I'm shrinking them down. I'm not sure whether you can see them very well on the screen or not. Apologies if you can't. I am reading them out loud. Let's have a look. Do we have a container so we can say order? So we can break these things down, or at least put them in a container that says this is what these are. So let's have a look. We have a block, a module package. So what I'm doing now is UML design. That's an object. I don't want an object. A frame will do. There we go. Frame. Right. So this frame is order items. Yeah. Right. So that's everything to do with order items. Now, the UML tool that I'm using, it's not really just for UML, it's for all sorts. And it's called Draw.io, or from diagrams.net. I'm using the free version. It's pretty good. There are some things that I'm not too sure, and like now I've put the frame on here. I can't move these, which is a bit of a shame. The frame itself is basically, I'd have to put the frame down first and then move these into it. Oh no, you'd think. No, at the moment it's inside the frame, it's not movable, which is great, especially if you want to shift things around. So if I had another one in here, I can't move them around. I'd have to move the frame and then move them and then put the frame back. Bit of a pain in the backside, that. Okay. You have to excuse me, I'm a bit tired. I've been at it since was working at 7:30 this morning, finished around 4:30, 5 o'clock, had a bit of break, had some time with my son, had some tea, and then back on it. I have long days, very long days. Okay. Right, back to the requirements. Let's have a look. Yep, wrong one. Want the Bing thing. Right, so let's categorize these. So add and remove items on the order. Should be able to display order ID, display all items on the order. So we've done those three. System should be able to add and remove an order. Okay, so let's go back to the model. Add another one of these on here. Add another arrow. There are easier ways to do this, and there's some better tools as well, but this one's pretty good for saying it's free. Add order. No, not add order. There you go. Create order. Right. And that, let's not do that. Let's do this. So if we take that and we hit Control, select both elements, then Control C, Control V, new one. Right. We always have to attach them to that. Sometimes it doesn't even attach it, which is really annoying. Now, do we delete an order, or should the order stay there? That's a question. So we can create an order, and an order is there. If we delete an order, we don't delete an order, we can cancel an order. There we go, cancel. We can cancel an order. We shouldn't delete an order because invoices audit logs, etc. So we're not going to delete the order, but we can cancel the order. There are things we can delete on the order, and we should. But with regards to the order itself, we should be able to create one and cancel one. Should we be able to edit an order? That's an interesting. So that is an interesting topic. Should we be able to edit an order? Let's think about that one for a second. That would be. No, but my belief is if you create an order, then again, I suppose if you create an order and you add items to the order, I'm not looking at Amazon on this one because I can't remember how they work there. I think you can cancel an item in an order, which is effectively editing the order. So yeah, I suppose you can. Yeah, you can edit the order. Right, so same process. Oh, let's get rid of that. Control V. Put that down here. Should be able to edit an order or amend. Edit or amend? Edit. You edit an order and make an amendment, but you don't amend an terminology and semantics again. Right, so these are the things we can do on an order. So let's find another frame. Order. Consistency. Right, so I can add an item to an order, I can remove an item from an order, I can display items in an order, I can create an order, I can cancel an order, and I can edit an order. Now, interestingly, should that do the display or should this do the display? I think that may slide over to here. Oh, here we go. I think that might actually belong here, you know. So this is why I like to do the modeling, because you can visualize what it is you're going to do and you can change it before you start building it. Horrible thing is you start building a system and then you suddenly find out, I've done something wrong and need to change it. This is good. This helps you visualize those and segment those areas of the system off for each other, encapsulate it. Yeah, I think that an order should display items in an order. Well, display items in an order. So I think that needs to stay here. Back to the requirements. Let's have a look. Okay, so that one actually goes there. Right, so the system should display an invoice for an order. Now, that again starts to make me think, does this live here? Let's. So an invoice and a payment are separate from an order. These are separate entities, separate objects. An order is an entity, an order item is an entity, an invoice is an entity, a payment detail or payment details or a collection of payment details is an entity in its own right. I think maybe that payment. So that these things quite possibly could be attributes on an order. That field is an attribute of an order, and that field is also an attribute of an order because that's a combination of all items. Well, it's the VAT on all items, and the subtotal is just the total before or after VAT, depending on how we want to display it. The recipient details, that is more like billing information. That I think is also a single known attribute on an order. Yeah, they feel like they're broken up. So we've done those three. So go back to our model. What have we done there? Back to the model. Where's the model gone? There it is. Make the frame bigger. In fact, we'll shift it out of the way now. We're going to add more. We'll go for that one. And that one. Bring it down here. Alright. Oh, no, that's wrong. If they're display mechanisms, are they really actions? They're really interactions with the system, or is that that might actually be another direction? We'll think about this one. So display VAT. Display subtotal. Display total. Total VAT subtotal and order ID. That order number. Right. So let's attach a stick to each. Sorry, I'm OCD. Right. Okay, so they're all the things that can be done in an order. What else is there? Display items, display the order number, the VAT, display the subtotal and total. Yeah, right. Now, I could add another one down here, but you know, the actors are. I'm going to do another actor over here and do it in the other direction, but it's still going to be the same thing, so that'll be fine. So we've done these. Now we're going to do these. So the system should be able to display an invoice for an order. Should be able to display it. Should be able to add an invoice to an order. No, the system shouldn't be adding an invoice to an order. So should it? Should the system add an invoice to an order, or should the system trigger the invoice creation? The system should right. Looking at this from a different level. Let's think of this like Spotify. Paint might be a good one for this actually. So I've got three systems I can think of. I've got an invoice system. I've got a payments system. I've got the order management system. So let's put text in these. So payment. Invoice. Order management. Right. So there's an interaction between, so a payment details should be incorporated within this, but not but the payment system should deal with payments. So that begs the question, should the order management system hold the billing information, or should the payment system hold the billing information? If the payment system holds the billing information, the payment system should in theory have an interaction with the invoicing system. But then does the invoicing system sit within the order management system? I don't want the order management system to become a God object, or a God system that does everything. It should be agnostic to certain things. Okay, so think about this for a second. This is why I enjoy doing this. The order management system, payment system, invoicing system. You give the invoice the billing and shipping details. You give the invoice the product details, or order line items or order items. You give the invoice system order number, all those details that are stored within the order. So the order system can be given the information. So that's one direction. So the order management system can give the invoice system the details that it needs. Right. Now the payment system, that's the opposite way. So the payment system should do that. So there may be a call from here. Oh, that curve. Will that one curve? No. Oh no, that one bends. Oh, that's cool. So I could do that, and then that. Oh, that's cool. Right. So order management can make a call to payment to say, here's some payment details, give me those payment details. Payment details then pushes those back. Whereas order management calls invoice and gives those details over, and then the invoicing system creates the invoice. And but still not sold on the payment details, like billing and shipping. Then that becomes logistics. Logistics need to care about the delivery, but doesn't care about anything else. Again, feels like invoicing. So if I was going to do this, I would have an order management system that cares about order items, line items, that also requires payment details, but can get those payment details from another table, from another microservice, a payments microservice. So I can ask for them. So there needs to be a reference to the order within the payment details. No, there needs to be a reference in the order to the payment. Yeah. Okay. So although the order management system holds those details, it calls out to the payment system to get those details. give me the billing information that you hold. And the invoicing system is a microservice that I just say I can give some of the information that I've got to it and say print me out an invoice or generate an invoice for me. Okay, that's fine. So then these two are microservices on their own, and the system, as in the order management system, doesn't care about those. So these can be not removed but shifted. Microservices. Okay. Right. So the part of the system that I'm caring about right now, although I need to care about this, part of the system that I'm caring about right now is just the management of an order. What can and can't be done. So I should be able to build this separate from these as long as the contract is the same shape. So the idea is if I was an industry, there would be a payment system team that owns the product around payments and billing and possibly even, well, not shipping, but around. Oh no, that whole that brings in a whole new set of roles, doesn't it? So the payments team, let's say we've got a payments team. They're a solitary team that sit in the corner of the office somewhere, or they all work from home, wherever. They care about payments and billing. They don't care about shipping. They don't care if the order's been shipped. They don't care if the order's been delivered. It doesn't care about any of the logistics side. All the payment system cares about is, do I have items that I need to charge for? What are the details I need to charge against? Has that charge been made, refunded, etc.? Okay. And then when all that side has happened, that just updates the order management system to say these actions have happened. You need to change specific values. At which point we're going to need a tax service to deal with all the tax and VAT and calculations. We'll get to those at a later date, I'm sure. Okay, so the system requires shipping information. The system should be able to display these. System should be able to add shipping information. Because shipping and billing are two completely different things. In theory, I know that the shipping and the billing could be the same thing, but in reality, they should be two separate things. One needs to be passed over to logistics, so they know where to deliver the item or items that have been ordered. The other one needs to be shipped over to billing because they need to know where they need to charge for the items that are going to be delivered or refund or whatever. Okay, so we've got 3 microservices here. We're going to end up with another, I'm sure, another microservice or something within here that is going to deal with tax. Tax is, yeah, that's a whole big session in itself. Okay, so what else do we need? We've got items on an order items. I might hear pitter patter of footsteps at some point. That will probably be my son as he's getting ready to go to bed and he'll want to come and say hi. If that happens, I'll have to be right back, deal with him, and then yeah, I will be back. But we shall see. Hark, I might hear his voice. Nope. Thought I could hear him, can't. Okay, so actions to perform. What's next? I feel like I want to model the system, no longer the interactions from the actors. And I know that these in turn will cause interactions. So this is an actor interacting with a part of a system, and each one of these may or may not interact with other parts of systems. Like creating an order will have to interact with this section, with the order items. You just will. Actor's going to add an item to an order, and then the system itself will, this system will add this item to this order and create this order. The system will edit an order and remove an item from an order. And it could be that the system will remove an item from the order and then cancel it because there are no other items on that order. Right, okay, so that makes sense. Do I want to go down to class level? Or is that enough to be going on with for now? No, I think I need to go a level deeper. So I tend to try. Ooh. Excuse me, tired. I tend to hide. I tend to hide, listen to myself. I am that tired. I tend to have actors and interactions in one diagram. Then I tend to have like class. I usually have class diagrams and then some sequence diagrams. Class diagrams are good. There are domain level diagrams as well. I don't think I'm going to need to worry about domains. I mean, I should, but I already know I've got 3 or 4 domains. So I think I might just go to the class level. So we'll save that. So, whoops. Order management, use case. Right, so these are use cases. That's a use case diagram right there. Now we're going to go to the class diagram. So, new, create a diagram, software. This is a class diagram. This is not what mine will look like. Composition, aggregation, inheritance, by the looks of it. Obviously, that's the base class. These are the child classes. But we're not going to worry about that. We're going to delete those. Right. Oh, I'm getting. Oh, it sounds like my son's on his way. I will be right back. Right, I am back. You know what? I hope I've been streaming this. And I've not just been on starting soon. That would be silly. I feel like I need to check. No, that should be good. I think there might have been a delay. I'm hoping there's a delay. Yeah. Interesting. Oh well. Right. Back to the matter at hand. So I've done my use case. Now I'm gonna write the class. So first class. It's going to be the order, isn't it? Really. Now we don't want this thing to be a god class. So that would just be terrible. Let's find the classes. Right, so they're going to be in the UML. Right, so that's a class. Right, so we have a class. What the heck? Right, so this class is going to be the order class. Right, and I never understood the plus and the minus. I think well, never really understood that. We've got different types. Oh, I like that. That's nice. I like that class. That interface. That's pretty. Why is that one different? Item attribute. That's what I've been looking at. Like that, and dumping that in there. I think fields, items, attributes, whatever, should be the same thing. Dang it. Put that back. So the field would be total. Type would be decimal. Field in this one would be subtotal. And again, the type is going to be a decimal. It should be a decimal. This field, VAT. Now, when I say VAT, I don't mean the VAT amount. I don't mean 20%, whatever. I mean the actual total VAT. So that will also be a decimal. Bump. What else we got? What was in the requirements? Order ID. Oh, that would be a biggie. The ID. Right. And that thing has to be an int. Nah. Say int. Could be a GUID. In fact, GUID, because that's more unique. Right. Probably doesn't like GUID, but I don't care. Needs to be a GUID. Also, ideally, that would be at the top. What else does it need? It needs order items or products, and that is going to be a list of order item. Now, do we say product or order item? We'll say order item. Right. Oh, no. we go. So we've got order items that are a list of order item. It'll need to be an invoice. Or it'll need to have an invoice. Should this? Oh, bugger. Dang it. Should this have the invoice contained within the order, or should the order be? No, in fact, this should. No, this shouldn't have an invoice. It shouldn't. It shouldn't even have a reference to the invoice. What should happen is the order itself should be passed over to the invoice, but the order does need billing and shipping information. So, billing details. So this will be a billing details class. So these are primitives. These are complex. We're going to need shipping details. That's a billing details class and a shipping details class, but if the billing details and the shipping details could just be an address class, if the attributes are the same and they don't change, then they can just be one class and we can just use that. But it might be that there's differences. If that's the case, then we'll look at inheritance. Until we dig deeper into what the billing and shipping details are, I won't know. That also needs to be order. Okay. Is there anything else that needs to be in there? Order items. Display order item. Total VAT subtotal order ID. Recipient details. Shipping? Shipping details? That I think is, yeah, shipping details. Okay, so now the methods. Or the method signatures anyway. Are they here? Do we have these? So we can do method type, field type. Okay, so we grab attribute. So this would be add order item. With a P? I don't think so. Add order item. Type. It doesn't return it. Yeah, it doesn't. It adds. It's void. So all that's going to do is just add an item to an order. Okie dokie dokie. Remove order item. Oops. Also void. Billing and shipping details. No, that should just be display. Also void. Display shipping details. Display order items. Primitives. Let's have a look here. Display VAT. Display total. This might actually be overkill. Display subtotal. Now I know that's a GUID, that's a unique identifier. But we do need to show it. Display order number. Now what we could do instead of doing all these different displays is we could just have one display function. That says display order details. And that gets rid of the necessity for all of the displays. But that would have to that feels more like a UI thing. So I think actually we can get rid of the displays. Because I don't think these need to be required within this class. Get rid of that one. So what we need to do is be able to get getters and setters. Set order number. Get the order number. And that should return good. Set total. Get total. Right. Oh, I also missed out that should take a decimal. Yeah, and that should return a decimal. This one should. That's an interesting one. Should the set order number create the GUID or take the GUID and set it on the order? I think you should create it. So it shouldn't need to take anything, but it definitely needs to return something. Not even sure what I'm doing now. Right, okay. So that is set subtotal, and that one is get subtotal. Again, yeah, that one definitely should. So that should be set VAT get VAT. Yeah, right. You can see where this is going, can't you? It's going to take me a while, this. So 1, 2. Nah, it isn't. It's not going to be set order items. It's going to be add item to order. So this will take an order item. And it will return void. This one will get order items and return a list of order item. Yep. Set billing details. Again, now these may be used, maybe set using a method, but they might just be passing in the constructor. But I'll do one anyway, just in case we have to update the billing details for whatever reason. We have a method that allows us to do that. Billing details. and then a method to get them. And that should return a building details object. And then the same over here, but this is shipping. I put billing on that one. Okay, so shipping details, get and set, and that's it. So for that class, I've laid out there we go, the getters and setters for each. Now we could even go as far as to segregate the getters from the setters, but I'm not going to do that. And I think that depending if it's a get or a set, depends whether it's a plus or a minus, or if one's a remove. I haven't done a remove item from order yet either. I've done a get and I've done a set, but I've not done an update, so that's an interesting one. No, I do need a remove. So get there. So this is an oddity. So this should be remove item from order. No, remove item from order items. No, remove item from order. Got to be that. It doesn't return. Wait, does that set the list? Set order number. Add item to order. Yeah. Remove item from order. So that takes an order item, adds it to the list. Remove item shouldn't return the list, should just update the list that's on the order at the time. So that can be void, because it's not going to return anything for me. It definitely needs to be there though. It removes an item from an order. In fact, we can just say remove item and add order item. Remove order item. Get order items. Right, that makes sense. Right, okay. I'm gonna knock off for now. I'm tired. It's been a long day. I'm back on again. What day is it? Let's have a look. I will be back on again. Oh, apparently on Saturday. I'm not sure what I'm doing Saturday though. It might be games. I might actually crack on with software development. I will be back next week on Monday doing software development. Whether or not I carry on with this, no, so I will be carrying on with this, but I might decide to do this on Saturday. We'll see. So I'm going to leave it there. Try and relax before I go to bed. It's been fun. We've got an order item, or we've got an order class. We've built something or designed something. We've got our use case diagram, a simple use case diagram, and we have our requirements, or a simple set of requirements. So from there, next week we'll start mapping out what an order item is and what the attributes to the order item are in those methods and how they will be added to the order. We'll also look at the shipping and billing details and the payment details, and then from that we'll look at the invoicing section and how they're going to interact. And then from there we'll start piecing those together. I'm sure there's going to be other stuff that we're going to need to do, but as we model it, we'll figure that out. We might even have to do a domain level diagram to work out our bounds, our domain bounds. But again, I can decide that next week. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again next time.